Lester, you are in fact correct, and let me say, being my producer, I only pick the smartest in the business, and nothing gets by you. That is correct. I'm not wearing a toque today. Lester has pointed that out, and I'm sure you can tell at home that I am not wearing my usual toque. I have just shaved the head, my girlfriend has actually, and I think I look quite nice. The beard is somewhat under control. It's rare that I approve of how I look during a filming. I like a tight collar. This is a tight collar. It's also the greatest t-shirt in the world. So I'm happy with the appearance. No toque today. It's also 8 million degrees outside, and we got to start the show. Lester?
What the hell is this?
I speak jive.
Will you stop?
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
You don't like it? We don't care.
What a dumb thing to do. I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
The recognized symbol of excellence in
Dramatic comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, do I have to say it? It's Colin from Canada. It's Lester. It's Colin from Canada's Good Junk, episode 21. Friends, Lester and myself are still recovering from all the big festivities during last week's episode. Did you catch the duration of that episode? Of course you did. 1 hour, 28 minutes. It was a bear to put together, but I did. With the help of Lester, we gave you the single greatest episode in the history of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. The anniversary number 10 was good, but 20 was better. I'm also partial to episode 16. Go back in the archives and take a gander. Welcome in, everyone. Let's first, before we crack it, the pen is taped. The am-can connection. I am the king of YouTube, so the crown is there. Bit of a smaller poster this week. This is the Beatles anthology poster. If you love the Beatles, you've probably already viewed the Beatles anthology, but if you have not and you love the Fab Four, you have to get your grubby mitts on that. Could I send it to you through the mail? Extra weight, we'll talk later. Good coffee is always free. We got an update. Stop everything. We got an update on the leak, okay? We're gonna get into that later. Now we can crack this, okay? Now, we're gonna try. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna stand. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand for this, bud. Oh, how high is he going? You can't tell from the camera angle, but I didn't spill a goddamn drop. Sit back down, Colin, let the fizz go down, and apply pressure to the top of the Dr. Zeus tumbler. Guys, say it with me. Ceremonial sip. Don't have a napkin. Yes, I do have a napkin. We're gonna go tissue. Got to clean that, tidy that little up. That was not from the pouring. That was from the fizz carbonation coming up on the Dr. Zeus tumbler. I'm gonna get another sip of this. Guys, we have the can. We have the large coffee from McDonald's. And you know what's happening at McDonald's in Canada, possibly America, dollar drinks. You can't pass up a Diet Coke from the fountain at McDonald's. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm gonna inform you. It's half syrup, half. They do it perfectly. That's why it tastes so good. When you're addicted to Diet Coke, you have these facts in your head ready to give the viewers. A certain photo used in last week's camera roll will play a part in this week's clip of the week. Lester, do you have it put together? Well, you already know about it, but the friends, I don't know if they know, but I think they're gonna enjoy this week's clip of the week. Before we get the Big 21 show started, I will address this. I've mentioned it before, but I will mention it again as quickly as possible. My boss owns this industrial plaza. He owns the whole building. Different tenants are in the building. We used to be in the front at a video store. Now it's an erotic spa. I will repeat that, an erotic spa. The Indian grocery store was next door to us. We had to move out. Indian grocery store moves out. We move into Indian grocery store. We renovate the whole unit. Prior to putting up any drywall, everything was demolished. The construction men said, Bill, you have a leak over here. You're going to have to tend to it before we start renovating. His exact words were, and I quote, "We just won't play poker over there." So, renovations happened, drywall went up, and the leak continued to the point where we had to get it fixed. And we knocked out a big V shape of drywall. I won't move the camera because it's a mystery. Any hoot, several people have gone up on the ladder to look where the leak is. A lot of my poker players, 99% of them are men. So you know what men do? Oh, let me take a look at that. Let me get up on the ladder. They all went up. Nothing. Professional roofers, nothing. Last 2 weeks ago, one of my poker players went up on the ladder and said, yeah, it's right here. When we had the electrical put in during the renovations, the electrical drilled holes to put up the electrical box and hit the pipe. Then just discreetly moved it over 1 foot and put it there. Didn't say a word. Then the other construction guys, not the electrical guy, said, hey, you got a leak. So it was really the guy we hired that caused the leak. Any hoot, the leak is fixed. Was that intriguing? It was not. But I think that might get drywalled and we might lose that attractive hole as part of the appearance of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. Speaking of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk, let's begin the program.
Adrian Adonis, one half of that East-West connection.
The infamous East-West connection.
Friends, I am only filming the third thing today, and the caffeine is already surging through my body, so this is going to be an extra special episode for you and me to participate in. Lester, I'm not leaving you out. You're in there too. You're going to love it too. You're already smiling. Let me hear it. I've hit record, and I'm about to introduce the 5 VHS from the collection, and I stop and ponder. I wonder to myself, Colin, should you read all 5 like you did in the Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk 20th Anniversary Extravaganza Spectacular? I wonder, should I read them? Time permitting, I don't know. Lester, what do you think? Power Karate. Hunks with hats. Tai Chi for arthritis. Stretching to the classics. Friends, it's 5 VHS from the collection, and in the 17 to 26 seconds between the time I recorded the introduction and the time I hit record now, I've decided I will read all the descriptions, but at a very rapid pace as to move the show along. We don't want to enter the 1 hour and a half duration that we did last week. Alyssa Milano's Teen Steam. You gotta let it out. That's the theme of the video. Hi. Like any teenager, I've got lots of energy, and sometimes things that happen in my life make me restless. I need to move and let off the steam that builds up inside. Folks, this could get weird. So I put together a dance and workout routine that helps me cool out, keep my body fit, and head straight. I call it Teen Steam. Now I want to share it with you. I made this video so that you and I can do my routine together. You'll meet my friends Michelle and Tiffany. Tiffany spelled I-E at the end. And we'll all work it out. You'll learn some outrageous new moves, hear some hot new music, and hang out and laugh with us. You're gonna love the way this video looks. You'll see what my room is like, and you won't believe the dance number. It's unreal. There's even a little fantasy added just for fun. Oh yeah, I also sing the theme song, and that says it all. So come with us as we dance it out, work it out, and talk it out. After all, you gotta let it out. Love, Alyssa. P.S. I'd love to know how you like this video. If you want to, please write to me, care of Teen Steam, P.O. Box 3684, Hollywood, California, 90078. We're just gonna go to the next one. Hulk Hogan, Secret Agent Club. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your dad is? I know where Hulk Hogan is. He's wearing a hairpiece and he's filming Secret Agent Club. Not a big description, but we're gonna hit it. This might help with the time duration. It's nonstop action when True Lies meets Home Alone in this furiously funny family adventure starring superstar Hulk Hogan and a secret weapon that'll just blow you away. I assure you, the secret weapon is not the hairpiece. It's something else. Scorpion. International terrorism explodes on U.S. soil in Scorpion, a deadly action thriller starring world-renowned karate champion Tommy Tulliners. I am not kidding you guys. Tulliners. I'm probably saying that wrong. When gun-wielding guerrillas skyjack a Los Angeles airliner, the government calls in the one man who can get the job done, Scorpion. A hardcore intelligence agent and the prime target of every country's hit list. Using his greatest weapon, his hands, Scorpion single-handedly defuses the skyjacking and steps straight into a corrupt international scheme involving the assassination of Fayoud, an imprisoned kingpin about to turn government witness. When Scorpion's partner and lifelong friend, Phil, is murdered while protecting Fayoud, I'm saying that wrong, F-A-U-E-D, he unleashes the ultimate sting, avenging his buddy's death and finding Fayoud's killer before they find him. Okay, can I just focus on something here? The kingpin is F-A-U-E-D, okay? However you pronounce that. And then at the end, when he's avenging his buddy's death and finding Fayoud, they spell his name differently. Okay? That's Scorpion, spelling errors and all. I can pronounce things. Outlaw Force. It's a cowboy with a revenge on his mind. When Billy Ray Dalton's wife is murdered and his little girl kidnapped, the quiet country singer / songwriter becomes a man possessed by a fiery rage. With a 6-shooter strapped to his hip, he heads for Los Angeles to seek revenge, justice, and his little girl. God help the fools that get in his way. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forgot to mention one Frank Stallone? We're getting a lot of zoom-ins on my finger and names today. Finally, we're gonna finish with Don the Dragon Wilson. You know him from Blood Fist. It's Ring of Fire 2. Do I have the other ones? Of course I do. We'll get to those another episode. Don the Dragon Wilson stars as Johnny Woo, a doctor who witnesses the brutal slaying of his young, beautiful wife by a vicious drug lord. Johnny is forced to take the law into his own hands when the police fail to bring the murderers to justice. Relying on his own lightning speed as a champion kickboxer and a 12-gauge shotgun as an equalizer, Johnny is determined to get the killers at any cost. In a fiery climax of rage, the Dragon faces the toughest ring of evil in L.A. Just under 5 minutes, we burned through that. The caffeine helped me, Lester prodded me, and we made it. Folks, that was 5 VHS from the collection.
Both men running out of gas, Jess.
Well, I'll tell you, this has been everything I expected it to be, Gorilla, nothing less.
Lester, I've got your full attention, and I've got a little special idea that I'd like to run by you. And in preparing for the introduction to Cheryl this week, I was bouncing some ideas around in my head, and I feel the best way to describe your wife is the appreciation of free-form jazz. You don't really know where it's going, you're just listening and going along for the ride. I feel that when I watch Cheryl and the segment here on the show, Cheryl. How do you feel about comparing your wife to free-form jazz and the appreciation of that musical art form?
You have no idea who knows me. I'm not the rancher. I got marbles here. I have 2 boobs, not 6. Do you know you have scratchy toilet paper? It took 20 years for you people to mess up that little pristine neighborhood. It took that lady a 1.5 years to turn it into a cemetery. So I don't think any of you've got the right to say a word to me. All right?
Friends, I know over the past several episodes, I have come to you at this portion of the show and perhaps been repetitive by saying I have limited items for this segment. This segment, of course, coming is the thrift store pickups. Well, as of Tuesday, 3 p.m., June 24th, I have 1 item, and that I won't even divulge because if it ends up being the only item, we're not going to say it in the introduction. But guys, this is thrift store pickups. I hope there's more than 1 item. John Dote Hit. Dote Hit? John Dote Hit. John Dote Hit. Dote Hit. John DeHurt. Friends, we are angling / turning to the left. You know what that means. It is the thrift store pickups. We're going to start with the books. Do you guys remember the Ripley's Believe It or Not paperbacks? That's Ripley's Believe It or Not Great Disasters and Ripley's Believe It or Not Stars, Space, UFOs. Wouldn't be a thrift store pickup without Dennis the Menace driving mother up the wall. And Dennis the Menace, your mother's calling. Finishing off the books, the 9/10's Guide to the Beatles Outtakes 2004 edition. This is another one of those where were the Beatles recording and what were they recording type deals. Okie dokie. One VHS, it's pretty famous in the VHS collectors network, Video Catnip. And this was Patricia Howard's Video Catnip. I don't know if that makes the value go up, but fans of Patricia Howard, this was her personal copy of Video Catnip, Entertainment for Cats. Hey kiddies, look. Yes, it's time for Kitty's favorite show, Video Catnip. We'll start with some fun and games for you and your human, then go right into the cats only part of the show. So get ready for some cataclysmic fun with no pause in the action. No pause in the action. Play on words, the likes of which we've never seen here on the 5 VHS or thrift store pickups. That's the Video Catnip. Let's go to the CDs. A street mix, hip hop and jazz. This is compilations of more of the lighter side of hip hop or the jazzier side of hip hop. Diggable Planets, Soul Sonics, Jazzmatazz, you know. Willie Nelson, All-Time Greatest Hits, Volume 1. Disco Dance Hits, Volume 2. I believe I have the first one, and we covered that in a previous thrift store pickup. The Waterboys, A Rock in the Weary Land, and The Waterboys, Book of Lightning. Waterboys, of course, their big hit was This Is the Sea. I'll put the link in the description. Great song if you've never heard of it. Beach Boys, The Warmth of the Sun. I think this is a compilation of unreleased stuff because I can't recognize any of the songs, and there's 28 songs on here, so it could be an outtake, unreleased compilation. The Bridge School Concerts. Neil Young has the Bridge School Concerts each year, and he invites big names, so this is another compilation of songs from Neil Young, Tom Petty, Elvis Costello, Ministry, Beck, Pearl Jam, David Bowie, the whole nine. Judy Collins, much like Joan Baez, I am a fan of Judy Collins. Colors of the Day, the best of. Finally, to end it, we have Old School Nation. These are extended mixes of songs you know, Groove is in the Heart, Planet Rock, the Humpty Dance, you know, Lean on Me, more Bounce to the Ounce. Anyways, a double disc and longer versions than the versions that you are accustomed to. Finishing it off, I think this is the first time we've done electronics. This is a Acer Aspire 5 laptop. It only needs Windows. Just have to put Windows back on it. And that was, can we get a shot of the price I got for this? $4.99, and the plug is over there. So you go to your computer guy. I'm okay with computers. Windows installation, I don't even have a Windows disk. So you go to your local computer guy, 20, 25 bucks. He puts Windows on there, and you're in for 30 bucks, and you got a laptop that works perfectly fine. That was thrift store pickups.
Terry Funk, obviously at this point, operating.
He's got rubber legs. Look at Funk's legs.
Friends, I was teetering whether or not this piece of video is a hard-hitting news clip or it's best fitted for the clip of the week segment. And I'm gonna put it in hard-hitting news clip of the week because I am the leader of this and I can do whatever No. I just think it's really funny and it's kind of newsworthy if I just describe it to you. Folks, have you heard of Mike Lindell? Of course you have. At one point, he was Donald Trump's best friend during the first presidency. And Mike Lindell was also the leader of the election was stolen. And I'll prove it. And then he didn't prove it. And then he got sued by everybody. He also sells pillows. During the election was stolen period, and I'm going to prove it, he started his own podcast type internet network thing. Anyways, this is a clip from that and his masterful pronunciation of a woman named Ursula. Friends, just a brief warning before this clip starts. If you are enjoying a hot or cold beverage and or enjoying food of any sort, I'm gonna need you to make sure your mouth is clear of any food particles and or liquids, because upon viewing this clip, those items will be shot from your mouth. That is how hilarious this video clip is. It is edited and chopped, but I assure you, each time he mispronounces this woman's name, it's not repeated. This is how many times he forgets how to pronounce it. Okay?
Done something that is very good.
He was murdered.
But now he's dead.
Reach out to the man who died.
To the man.
Your mama. She's for free and everybody knows it.
This one is from, it's Urilla Fa, spell that U-R-S-U.
Ursula.
Ursula Fa.
Ursula is U-R-S-U-L-A Fa.
What's her name?
Ursula Fa.
At Ursula Fa. All day, Ursula. U-R-Z-U-L-A Fa.
U-R-S.
U-R-S. U-L-A, Fa, F-A-W. Ursula. This will put you out of business, Ursula.
It's Ursula. I finally figured out how you say it. Ursula.
No, that's another lie, Ursula.
Ursula.
Ursula. You, F-A-Y.
F-A-W. Ursula.
F-A-W.
Ursula Fa.
Ursula Fa. You are the one, the enemy of the American people.
Ursula Fa.
Ursula Fa. Pick a better day, Zulilla.
Ursula.
Ursula. Why don't you talk about all my employees, Uzilla Fa? You don't even know me, Zulilla Fa.
Friends, as you know, 2 weeks ago was Father's Day, and as we covered in the seminal Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk 20th Anniversary Extravaganza Spectacular, I indulged in some leftover carrot cake using wooden utensils, and boy did that bring out the taste of the food. It did not. Pushing forward, Johnny received a bottle of scotch for Father's Day from my mother, the legend Lynn Riddell, aka Mama Canada, aka the Queen Mother of Canada. And there are different levels of scotch and different prices for scotch. And he was given a bottle of Teachers. And that, as he put it, let me get the direct quote here, "For my day-to-day drinking, Teachers is my favorite." Whereas if it was a $100 or $120 bottle of scotch, that doesn't fall under the John Riddell Living Legend day-to-day drinking. That is a special occasion scotch. So for those who will in fact write the quintessential book regarding Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk, let it be known that Teachers, or one of the lower valued scotch, is good for John Riddell's day-to-day drinking. But the special occasion drinking, that's a over $100 value. Guys, it's time for John Riddell, Living Legend.
How much is in butter? How much is in butter? How much is in butter?
Friends, that's the new draining tray, and of course this is John Riddell, Living Legend. He is preparing his award-winning chicken soup. He's going to tell us what's in here as we take a look at the soup. Johnny, if you could just talk to us about what's in the soup.
Well, we started off with a carcass from a roast chicken. And we've got potatoes, carrots, celery, onion, bay leaf, salt, pepper, noodles, and pasta. And some red lentils.
Okay. Friends, if you could smell the screen. It smells delicious. Could have done that before I hit record. I didn't. Folks, we don't need to organize some sort of Jerry Lewis telethon as of yet. The camera roll is still surviving. It's on low fumes. There's still gas in the old car and we're still puttering along, but I have to remind myself to take photos. That's where I'm going wrong. And, you know, you got to take, if you do one a day, by next week's filming, you'll have 5, Colin. Get your head in the game. Folks, it's time for Let's Go Through My Camera Roll / hard drive. Dry cleaning movies, mushrooms on toast. Just a couple of horses' asses. Electric pressure cooker, urinating. Passion fruit chest cake, Charles Barkley. Friends, we survive another week when it comes to Let's Go Through My Camera Roll. And we have 5 from the camera roll / hard drive. Let's get right into it now as I quickly turn my book to the page I need it to be at. We haven't gone to the clip of the week yet, so I can't divulge too much, but the girlfriend and I were on assignment for the clip of the week, which you're going to see shortly. And on the way back from being on assignment for the clip of the week, we noticed this bus was on fire. It wasn't on fire. The fire had been put out, but it was up on the tow truck. And I said, hey, we should have taken a photo of that because I'm a little light on the old camera roll, as I am every week. And she said, why don't we do a U-turn and I'll take a photo. We did a U-turn. While the car was moving, my girlfriend snapped that shot. I'd like to pin a medal on her for that. That is a great photo. I would have done not even close to that type of photography. Let's enjoy the burnt back of the Mississauga Transit bus. I thank you. Photo number 2, again, while we were on assignment at a secret location that you're going to learn about at the Clip of the Week segment coming up later on in Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. We went to the Dollar Tree. She was looking for baskets for her work, and not baskets, buckets, crucial to the story. And we noticed this little gem. Folks, do you love Reese's Pieces? Do you love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Folks, do you love nougat? Or do you just love saying nougat? They've joined forces. That's what I was trying to do. It's Reese's Nougat. Let's all take a moment. I thank you. Photo number 3, we're at the thrift store. I didn't buy it because I would never own a piece of crap like this, but this is, of course, the photo frame where you add photos of your loved ones and or family members, perhaps your pets. This person has added gift wrapping. That's right. Why don't we frame some gift wrapping and make it some sort of art BS thing? That stands for bullshit. Photo number 4. Can I introduce you to a doctor in my neighborhood? Excusito, that was a little, while we're here. Back to the matter at hand. Can I introduce you to one Jimmy Poon? Dr. Jimmy Poon. He's a specialist in cosmetic medicine and hair transplant, also Botox filler, facelift, and lipodissolve, or lipodissolve. I think I'm saying that correctly. If you'd like to get in touch, phone number is 905-820-1398. If you want to look like a plastic face, because let's be real, when has plastic surgery ever worked? I'll wait. Speaking of plastic surgery. Anywho, that's Dr. Jimmy Poon. I love the name. And if you need help, he's the man to call. Photo number 5. He's going to love that he's included in the program. He's a fan of the program. He's also one of my poker players. And before I throw it up, I want you to know that I do categorize my job as babysitter of poker morons. I want it clear, this is not one of the morons. This is one of the good ones, okay? This is one of the good guys. Let's throw it up. That's Diego. He has made his own shirt. I will explain that for the poker players that don't know what the hell's going on. If you are a poker player, you're already laughing. We play Texas Hold'em here at the establishment, and that is 2 cards each, and then 5 cards in the middle, and everybody uses the 5 cards in the middle with or without their 2 cards to make the best 5-card poker hand. And the first 3 cards of the 5 in the middle are called the flop, spelt F-L-O-P. This gentleman, Diego, went to his local t-shirt shop, not this one, because they would have come correct, and he wanted, let's see a flop. And he received Let's see a floop. When he walked in, I damn near urinated in my pantaloons, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that. Guys, that's Diego. That's the shirt. It's hilarious. And this has been, let's go through my camera roll.
Pretty evenly matched as far as size and weight, too, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Gorilla, you're looking at two of the greatest athletes.
Friends, it bears repeating, so I shall. The mystery is just deepening even further. I don't think Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and the whole gang, including the Mystery Machine, has any hope of deciphering how this will go. And I know that I not only speak for me, Lester, but I speak for you folks when I say we are all glued to our screens, a la the O.J. Simpson chase. Fun fact about the O.J. Simpson chase, David Hasselhoff's first American concert pay-per-view event. He's huge in Germany. What day did he schedule it for? The exact day that OJ took off in the Bronco. What were you watching that day?
Raymond Lyman, ridiculous. You calling me a liar? Well, I ain't gonna think about suing the city. Raymond Lyman, ridiculous. You calling me a liar? Well, I ain't gonna think about suing the city. Because I was intimidated. Just like when I went out here that day and the cop threatened to beat me up.
Ray.
Hey, no cop threatened to beat you up. He didn't? No. You think I'm lying? You think I'm lying? Yeah. You calling me a liar? I do not think a cop threatened to beat you up.
What's his name?
What was the officer's name? I don't know who that cop's name was that was here that day.
Well, we'll find out.
You can't come here and say that, Ray.
Friends, the weather is warm enough to the point where we could all use a good dip in the pool, or perhaps a good deep dive into a deep cut of a movie that I love and cherish and you need to know about. Do I have to go any further, or do you know what I'm talking about? It's time to roll the bumper, Lester. So roll the bumper. Roll the bumper. Lester didn't know what clips to take from the deep cut deep dive, so instead Colin from Canada is singing over this bumper. I assure you, this is real. Friends, I'm gonna go out on a limb and speak for all of us, if I may, because I do weekly, and say that we all love John Hughes, whether it be a producer, director, writer. He is the man. He was the man. He's unfortunately passed, but you cannot go wrong with a movie written by John Hughes. Let's forget about Curly Sue. It's all right. Friends, we're not speaking of the traditional John Hughes fare, a la Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, or Pretty in Pink. We are delving deeper because that's what we do here on Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. Not to say that we won't focus on those perhaps down the road, but for this segment, we're going to delve a little deeper, and we're going to go back to 1991. Folks, are you a fan of Married with Children? If you are, then I know you love Ed O'Neill. And if you love Ed O'Neill, you're going to love Ed O'Neill in the 1991 John Hughes written, possibly produced by, as well, Dutch. Starring Ethan Embry and Ed O'Neill, this underappreciated comedy, Ed O'Neill volunteers to drive his girlfriend's son back from his preparatory school for Thanksgiving. And the whole movie consists of Ed O'Neill has to drive a certain amount over to wherever to pick up the, as we learn, young brat from preparatory school and bring him back for Thanksgiving. And along the way, Ed O'Neill is very much a man's man, and he's really trying to bond with Ethan Embry, and it's not going according to plan because they have very, very different interests. But it's a great movie. It's really underappreciated. I kind of was disappointed to learn that Ed O'Neill didn't like the movie. I think he clashed with the director, but I think it's a great movie. And if I could, let me quickly itch my nose as we have nostril hairs emanating from it. But if I could quote two direct quotes from the movie, Ed O'Neill, of course, in the car with, it very much takes place in vehicles. And a la Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, if you get what I'm saying, stop playing with the pen, Colin. The quote, let's get back to it. I've talked to you till I could puke coat hangers. Also, I may not look like I could finance a trip to the zoo, but I make a damn good living. How do you, like, John Hughes, just the man, okay? Guys, it says it's available on Prime Video, but I don't think it's gonna be free on Prime Video. So you know the offer is always there. Throw it up, write me an email, we'll see if we can connect and I can shoot you a copy. Guys, it's Dutch, it's 1991, it's Ed O'Neill, it's Ethan Embry, it's underappreciated, but not by me. I fully appreciate it, and I think you will too.
He wants to punish, humiliate, and annihilate this man.
Oh yeah, there's no love lost between these two at all, Gorilla.
Friends, as I teased at the beginning of this episode, the clip of the week is something different, and we're going to get to it in a moment. I want to let you know that Colin from Canada was on location for this particular clip. Do I have to tell you there was cryptic messages on the post on my YouTube channel? Stop talking, Colin, and just get to the point. We went to the shark feeding frenzy, and I filmed it.
When things aren't going my way, I'm thinking pasta.
2,500.
Here's the VHS collection.
Your Construction Safety Association.
Folks, friends, lovers, fighters. Friends, it's Colin from Canada. We are on location at Big Al's Aquarium Supercenters. We have just witnessed, we meaning my girlfriend and I, she's off camera and will never appear on camera. I'm dressed to the nines here with an undershirt. It's roasting out here. We've just witnessed, get the sign in the shot, we've just witnessed the shark feeding frenzy, and you're gonna take a look at that quite possibly right now. Friends, Colin from Canada on location at Big Al's Aquarium Emporium. We're awaiting the shark feeding frenzy, and this is a fountain. Ladies and gentlemen, you can cut the excitement with a knife. We're about to begin, and this is my chin.
The shark feeding will begin momentarily.
You're good, buddy.
All right, so feeding the shark tonight, we have Brandon. So this is our shark. His name is Carlos, and he's a male black-tipped reef shark. So he's named after his species, and he's one of the most smallest and most timid species of reef sharks out there. Now, when he's in the wild, he can grow up to 7 feet. So he won't grow that big in the tank, but out there he definitely will. Now, if you see that very colorful fish is also going after a bunch of the food, that's our tang, and her name is Bubbles. She's also known as the eye strike surgeon fish. You see the very colorful red and yellow one? That is Flash, and he's a yellow line snapper. Maybe for the leftovers at the bottom of the tank. So Carlos was born in the Philippines. However, black tips can be found in Indonesia and other Southeast Asian countries in mostly shallow waters.
Oh, what happens to the teeth? Don't the fish have teeth? Or only sharks? Sharks don't use their teeth. I know, but do only sharks have teeth? Because they have teeth, but they don't really. But do other fish? Because I'm wondering, like, when they die, if they have teeth. Oh, that's good. Huh. I don't know if he's that interested.
Friends, we find ourselves introducing the Gorilla Monsoon clip of the week, and again, you know I have trouble with this, but thought of something nice. During Bobby Heenan's Hall of Fame speech, when I first watched it, I really hoped that he would mention Gorilla Monsoon. And the fact that he ended his speech and teared up by saying the only thing that would make this better is I wish Gorilla was here. I think I cried a little bit, and I thought that was really sweet. It's time for this week's Gorilla Monsoon Quote of the Week.
Did you see that? Couldn't see it from our vantage point. Will you stop? All kinds of pandemonium broken loose here.
Into the wrong part of town.
I wasn't looking at him, Jess. I wasn't even looking at the monitor, so I have to take your word.
You were looking through your upper bifocals instead of the lower ones.
Sometimes you got to use whatever you have.
Friends, last week's battle between Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler against Albert Einstein went right down to the wire, so much so that I told myself if it was a tie when I posted the video, we would have our first ever triple threat match for the title. But a last-second vote gave the win to Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. We have a new challenger. We have the voting on this side. Lester will roll the bumper, and I will get into it. Delta Force Pizza. Delta Force Pizza. We look this way, but we turn this way. We go to the scorecard, aka the poll for the Colin from Canada Show and Tell Weekly poll. The contest is, of course, a tag team match between Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman taking on the likes of Roddy Piper and Mr. T. As of right now, June 25th, 2:44 in the PM. That's a Wednesday for those of you playing along at home. Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. T are leading the votes 8-2 against the current tag champs Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman. I believe that will stay because it never changes. So we're looking at Roddy Piper and Mr. T taking on these three items that for some reason I own, and I can't tell you why I do, but I think I know where I got them from, and I will get to that in a moment. It will be another handicap match this week, not 2-on-1. 3-on-2. Let's get to it. The bootleg superpowers superhero dolls from China. That, of course, is a lifelike Superman. Look at that nose. And we have Batman. Okay. He's looking a little better. And the pièce de résistance, as they say in the French language. Again, you know I failed it from grades 4 to 9. This would be the Spider-Man superpowers figure. Adding black to the suit and blue gloves is just awesome. Can I stand them up during the chat? I think I can. Guys, wow, that's a rarity. When I worked at Goodwill, I believe I encountered these. I'm missing Robin. Not that I really care to own Robin, but when I was going through my collections of collections and filtering out what I would get rid of / bring to Jason over at the New 80s Revolution, came across these bad boys. I knew he wouldn't want them because he's not really a superhero figure guy, but I didn't know that anybody wanted them until I looked them up on eBay, and apparently there's a small market for the bootleg figures. And these are, I honestly can't remember how much they were worth, but I hung on to them, and they make for a great fictional wrestling match against Roddy Piper and Mr. T when I create my inevitable YouTube channel, which I have. So I'm glad I hung on to them. So these are your challengers to the crown. Again, it looks like it's going to be Roddy Piper and Mr. T. We're going to vote now. We're going to vote often. We're going to tell our friends to vote. And they're going to say, sorry, what am I voting on? No, there's this 45-year-old that has his own YouTube channel, and he pits toys against each other or collectibles. Remember the Larry mug? That's not a toy. That's a goddamn piece of art. He was in the show and tell. He lost, but he was in it. Guys, vote now.
We're back, wrestling fans. Gorilla Monsoon here at ringside.
You know, I'm getting real tired of your biased announcing.
Friends, unlike last week, where the production level was at a heightened state, I don't know if that's the term, but we're going to go with it. This week is more of a lackadaisical production, and perhaps more bloopers will occur. I believe there is a lot more bloopers than the Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk 20th Anniversary Extravaganza Spectacular. Let's see. Lester's going to roll the bumper. You're going to set the clock, and we're going to see how many minutes of bloopers we actually have for episode 21. What am I doing? Gotta stop saying, What can I tell you? Try again, son. What am I, deep in thought up in here? That's here nor there. You are actually laughing? I'm looking you dead straight and I'm telling you, the bloopers were pretty poopy last week, but let me tell you, the bloopers are on fire this week. It's gonna be a hoot! But Mushmouth from Fat Albert, Abisabi, Yubakuba, Habihiba.
Yeti. Order, Eddie.
That was a bit of a phlegm deposit. Nose hairs. Earthquake, run for your lives.
Earthquake, run for your lives.
Alyssa Milano's Teen Steam. That was way too high. Jesus Christ. I really gotta practice some of these. Like any other teenager, nope, let's start it again. Turn this way, so I talked to June 21st? 2 weeks, nope. There was leftover, how a la 1994. 1995? And I know that you and, how do I put it? I'm sorry, okay? This guy was, please enjoy. Nope, as I say it incorrectly. My God, the man is a genius. As you are as well. Not wearing a toque. Let's start that one over again. Briefly, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. We're just gonna sit here until I think of the word. Address. Wow, we're circling around what I'm trying to say, but it's not. As of that's the time I'm filming. Nailed that. Son, but what, just sailing. We went somewhere and it didn't meld. Stop it. I know I speak for all of us because that's what I do every week. Hello? It's not. We're doing a deep cut and let's get cooking. It's, of course, Yep. I bow to you because, of course, I am the hero and you are the legends. We are winding down and we are winding down that winding road. Sit tall, recognize those who are awake still, and let them know that there's a mighty glare coming off my bald head. Do I talk? I won't say it, don't worry. Colin from Canada's, wow.
What a matchup this is going to be, and I'm glad to be here.
I'll tell you something, Gino.
Unbelievable action here as the World Wrestling Federation continues to be #1.
Hello, friends. You will notice that I have my feet up. And not only am I in a relaxed posture, but I am in a relaxed state of mind. Because I am comfortable. I am relaxed. I am breathing many a sigh of relief. I am cool as a cucumber. Folks, I think you know what I'm trying to get at. I have not a worry in the world when it comes to this week's sponsorship. If I may, I will not. The sponsorship and I are in a place with umbrellas in our drinks, crystal clear water, beautiful sandy beaches. I don't know why, I hate beaches. Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. Because as long as there are public service announcements to be shown and money to be given to this very production, they will live here and we will enjoy them. Can I say that this will go on forever? I cannot. Based on past experiences, this could crumble at any moment. But as of right now, I am sitting pretty.
You ever had Indian food?
Will you please stop?
Catch it.
The Empire of Taste.
Will you please stop?
Catch it.
There's too much water in that kettle. And now the lid's on crooked. And that means disaster for this lady. Because she is on a boat. Don't boil a kettle on a boat.
Friends, don't cry for me, Argentina, although you might, because I have to announce that this is the completion of the episode, aka the goodbyes and the thank yous. I will tip my hat to you and show you the glare off my... Let's keep doing that. Hi, it's Colin from Canada. Goodbye and thank you for watching. Let's talk about what is in the works going forward, pushing forward for the program. Men's toes, it's still there. We're still going to go back to that. It wasn't in this episode. Ooh, wow. Whew! It wasn't in this episode, but we will get back to it. We have some other segments that I would like to announce, if I may, if you're listening. Lynn Riddell, aka Mama Canada, aka Queen Mother Canada, will have her own personal segment on this very program in the near future. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to announce it now, and I'm going to try to pull it off. We're going to have our very, 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 I only probably should have said once or twice, very special guest in the near future, quite possibly next week. I am talking about another human being appearing beside me, quite possibly next week, here in this very sacred grounds. Not sacred when you have drywall like that, but you know what I'm saying, guys. Another person will be right beside me. And dare I say interview? Who could it be? I don't know. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. I'm going to try to make it happen by next week's episode, episode 22. Guys, thank you for viewing. Again, I'm going to say it. If you're watching this, if you're hearing this, and if you're seeing this, you have been with me side by side in the co-pilot position for the entire production of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk, episode 21, and I thank you. From the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my feet, which you saw when I was kicked up during the introduction to the sponsorship, I thank you. There's not much else to say. There's the email. If you want to email, we got another one from a buddy that watches. He not a big commenter, but he shot me an email, and he's going to get something in the mail, if you know what I'm talking about. Guys, there it is again. It's the email. Contact me. Guys, you know where to comment. Comment. Let's start a conversation, okay? Let's talk about anything. You will write a blurb. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. You will write a burb? You will write a blurb, and I will write back 3 paragraphs of drivel, and you will enjoy every second of it. I'm going to stop here, but let you know, as we always do. Lester, do you want to say it this week? How dare I taunt you like that? Folks, the pepperettes are a firm $12. There is absolutely no haggling. I thank you. The Paperette seinen Steifig $12 ein Aufdinger.
A recognized symbol of excellence since
dramatic comedy.